My guest on the show is a telecom expert with experience in providing broadband services. He joins me on the show to discuss ways of strengthening the industry and increasing access, particularly to the underserved. There's a lot lined up for you, but first, some tech news and updates. I'm Chukwemeka Agbata. Welcome to the show.
Good, bad, or indifferent, if you're not investing in new technology, you're going to be left behind.
The history of animation started over a century ago with the traditional method. But fast forward to the late 1990s when the industry changed with varying techniques brought about by computer animation. In Nigeria, the animation industry might not be getting the attention it needs, but gradually there's been a steady rise. With a growing interest for animated content, consumers are beginning to see significant improvements in what animators churn out. Smids Animation Studios, a Lagos-based creative hub, focuses on delivering entertaining computer animation to the public.
3D animation is what we specialize in. We've been doing that for the last 9 years. And with 3D animation, it's essentially you creating the characters and the images in a software. So there are several softwares out there in the market, and you're able to create your designs, you're able to read the characters and animate them within that software. So the process of animation, be it 3D or 2D, follows essentially the same. So we have the pre-production, we have the production, and you have the post. So in the pre-production is where our ideas are discussed. We then put that into a script. From there we go into the concept design and the storyboard design as well, and then from there the characters are then taken into, so I guess that's where the difference between 2D and 3D comes. With 3D, then we take it into whatever software it is we're making use of to be able to create those characters in 3D. From there, texture those characters, they are rigged, they are animated, and then we now move into post-production. Post-production is where the sound is added, where editing is added as well. We also, before getting into post-production, we also do a bit of lighting. We also do lighting and rendering as well, and then it moves to post-production.
Computer-generated animation came with the initial threat of putting animators out of their jobs, but this development has helped set them apart and makes their job even easier.
Animation is heavily technology-driven, from the softwares that we make use of, from the systems that we use, the hardware, both for actual production, even for rendering, we make use of blade servers to do that. The entire pipeline is touched by technology, down to sound. All the equipment are also technology driven, so it's a heavily technology driven business. So I think over the years there's been lots of ways technology has come to play in animation to make lots of processes easier. 9 years when I started, things like motion capture wasn't really talked about. Now the animation pipeline can be further streamlined through motion capture. There's VR now, which is really big now, virtual reality, and a lot of creators are seeing how they can, tell their stories through those mediums as well too. So there's a lot the advancement in technology has done. Even every single year, every other year, there's advancement in both the software and the hardware that we make use of. Our processes are getting faster and quicker through the help and aid of technology.
As the industry continues to establish itself, one question keeps popping up. Where are the women?
I think when it comes to females in animation, it's just not a Nigerian thing. I believe the organization Women in Animation have a goal to have 50 by 2050. I think there's a lot of encouragement that needs to happen. There's a lot of awareness that also needs to happen, and I think there has to be a lot of mentorship going on, some of which we've started, to be able to see how we can get more women in, handhold them in, and let them know that it's not a difficult profession, and what are the ropes, what are the career paths. Again, in Nigeria, animation is still relatively new, so there's the reason why the gap is that large. But I believe as the years goes by, more awareness and we trying to get as many women in as possible, we'll be able to see changes.
One of the special attributes of Nigerian animators is the effort put towards portraying their cultural heritage.
I believe Nigeria has lots of stories to tell. we can see the rise of Nollywood and the stories they've been able to tell and how they've been able to portray Nigeria across the world. We have lots of stories that we grew up in, folk tales that our parents and our grandparents told to us orally. I believe many of those stories can be converted into animation, and we can be able to tell our heritage, our culture through that, and be able to showcase another side of who we are as Nigerians and as Africans to the world through animation, and telling great stories that not just Nigerians and Africans can enjoy, but also globally as well. I think when it comes to the diversity, I see it more as a beauty. So we have so many cultures, we have so many ethnicities, and I don't see that as a challenge on trying to represent each other. I see it more as an opportunity that we will never run out of stories. We have so many stories to always tell. So that's how I see it. I see it as an opportunity that many stories have to tell, and we never really run out of them.
Having an enabling environment is key to development, but for animators in Nigeria, that does not seem to be the case.
The environment here in Lagos and Nigeria specifically creates an enabling environment for animation. I think there are many challenges, one of which will be power, because we heavily rely on power to be able to do our work. So we have challenges with power. Also, animation is quite capital intensive, and access to finance has been a challenge in this market. I think again, technology and even technical skills, because it's still a relatively new skill, there's still a lot of skill gap, which in many ways we're trying to see how we can adequately fill. I think till date there's still no animation in our curriculum, so many times studios have to be able to see how they can have a pipeline to be able to bring in new people. We have a training school, but again, it's not enough. We need to be able to have that, curriculum that is bringing in people in mass.
While the full potential of animation has not been fully explored, players in the field are quite hopeful that better days in the industry are yet to come.